I'm going to go through all the books on my TBR for 2026. Oh, let me just readjust. I do have quite a lot of them with me, like actually physically. Also, ignore the fact that my Christmas tree is still up. I think it's bad luck after the 6th and it's like the 8th today. Let's just not talk about it. Maybe I should put some earrings in for the occasion. Sorry, I haven't really put myself together very well. I've literally just finished Atmosphere this morning, which was the first book on my TBR, and I'm giving it a 5-star. It was like such a beautiful book. I did shed a little tear at the end. Happy tears, but it really caught me off guard because I'm not really a crier. Well, that's a complete lie. I cry like every day of my life, but when it comes to books, it does take me a lot to cry. Taylor Jenkins Reid just knows how to do it, you know? Right, okay. So I have in my reading journal a list of books on my TBR, so I may have to just edit this as well as I go. I fear I may miss some out. So number 1, Atmosphere. Let me just get out of the pile. I have actually annotated a little bit of 5-star, would recommend to a friend. Gorgeous book. Also, a lot of these I've just seen other people raving about, and I actually don't really know a lot about a lot of these books. It's exciting to me as well because I have kind of an idea about the books, and I remember certain things of what people have said when they were talking about them, and that's like why I put them on my TBR in the first place. It's all just a bit like I don't really know the story of a lot of them, so I do kind of like to go into them blind. Anywho, so the next one I'm going to read is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and this is just one of those books that I saw in Waterstones and I was like, that looks like such a pretty book, and it's such a sweet small read. There are quite a few books in this style by this author. Before we forget, or before, let me actually confirm what I'm talking about. Oh, it's a whole series. I don't know if they kind of... Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a series by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I probably said that completely wrong. And it's a collection of heartwarming fantasy novels about time travel in a unique Tokyo cafe. The main ones are Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe, Before Your Memory Fades, and Before We Say Goodbye. And they've all got this really pretty cover. Yeah. And I just had a little flick through the first couple of pages because that Atmosphere has just turned around my slump. I was reading Holiday Ever After. It was good. I probably would have got to the end of it, but I was just impatient and I didn't want to bring a book over to 2026. I wanted to like start fresh on the 1st of Jan. And I don't know, I started listening to it, but I just didn't finish that one. I'm also currently reading Alchemized, but I'm listening to that on audiobook and I'm absolutely loving it, I can't lie. It is about 36 hours long, the audiobook, but I don't know how long it would have taken me to read the like 1,000 pages that it is. But it is one of those books that I do feel like works really, really well on audiobook. Let me try and just get a quick rundown of what it is. It's a dark fantasy debut novel featuring Helena Marino, who has lost her memory and is held captive by necromancers in a war-torn world. The story follows her as she tries to uncover the past and the secrets of her missing memories while imprisoned by a powerful necromancer, the High Reeve, in the Gothic setting. The book is known for its detailed world-building, intricate plot, and dark atmospheric tone, with a special edition featuring gold foil and interior art. Which, I mean, it does look like such a pretty book, but I just feel that I couldn't comfortably read that many pages. Anyway, that is that one. Then Throne of Glass. I do want to read the whole series. Whether I can do that this year, I don't know. I have started Throne of Glass on my Kindle because I was going to try and read Atmosphere and Throne of Glass at the same time, but then I kind of switched Throne of Glass for Alchemized, so maybe I can keep going with it. But I love Sarah J Maas's writing style, and I do really want to like dedicate a lot of time to that, so I'll be reading at least the first book of those, and then knowing me, I probably will get hooked on it. Then I've got a couple of books by V.E. Schwab. This one that everyone raves about, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. A desperate woman makes a desperate deal in the dark, a bargain to live forever but be remembered by none. Again, I don't really know a lot about the books, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to go too into detail. Like, I haven't really read the blurbs for a lot of them. From what I heard, it's really good. And the other book by that author that I also have is Vicious. This is a bit of a smaller book. Victor and Eli started out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognise the same ambition in each other, a shared interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly... That just reminded me of another book. What's that book? Is it called It Ends With Us? Don't know why that's just jogged. You know when you have such a like clear image of how people look in the books. Also, yesterday I saw on Instagram someone had made like an AI scene from Akatar where Fair and it's Reeson, but I always say Ryland, meet the bone carver. And the way they did it was literally the exact way I imagined it in my head. Like the bones on the walls, like all of it was just like so to the T. But I do just think that is Sarah. Obviously they are very talented in whatever they're doing, but Sarah J Maas's writing just makes everyone have a very similar, her world building is so good basically. Anyway, sorry, off topic. Shared interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions someone could develop extraordinary abilities, that when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. I am so bad at reading aloud, I can't lie. I'm quite a quick reader, but I do like read over the same page quite a few times because I want to really take it in. But reading aloud, I used to just hate it in school and I kind of low-key hate it now, so I'm not sure I'm going to read the blurb for like every book. But there's those. Then we have the classic The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and I haven't read this book, which I know is like a classic for a lot of people. Apparently it just retells the story of the Trojan War from the perspective of Patroclus, focusing on his deep romantic relationship with the legendary Greek hero Achilles. There's that one. I feel like we're going to get through these quite quickly because my explanations are not really enticing many people because I just don't really want to know what a lot of them are about. Then we have The Lamb by Lucy Rose. This I do feel is like definitely right up my street. So this is a book that explores how women swallow their anger, desire and animal instincts and wrings the relationship between mother and daughter until blood drips from it. It sounds like chaos and I love it. The Lamb is a folk horror novel at its sinister heart, much of it taking place in a small, dingy, grimy cottage in the Forest, Cumbria, England. I love anything that's sort of like giving horror movie that's not zombies and like, you know, I like thrillers, I like mysteries, I like dark books, which makes me sound really cheery. But I read like things like Girl in Pieces, if you read that I really enjoyed, where it's just quite like deep and like, you know. Next, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. To be honest, this book has just been on my TBR shelf for a long time and I just think I finally need to read it. It's not about romance, it's about love. It does sound good, I just haven't read it and it has got a lot of good reviews. When Sam catches a sight of Sadie at the crowded train station one morning, he's captivated straight back to childhood and the hours they spent immersed in playing games. Their spark is instantly reignited and sets off creative collaboration which will make them superstars. It is the 90s and anything is possible. What comes next is a decades-long tale of friendship and rivalry, fame and art, betrayal and tragedy, perfect worlds and imperfect ones, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved and to love. Okay, it does sound really good. I don't know why I was like kind of, I don't know, throwing it off, but that I think, maybe I can read that one next actually. I don't know if I've even put that on my TBR. Oh no, I've just sat on all my little things. Why can I not spell tomorrow? Oh, it's literally got one M. Oops. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Going a bit of a different way is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and I haven't read any of her books, and this is what I mean about like I know I'm gonna love these books. However, I told my friend I was gonna read this book and she was like, is that the one where she and I was like, oh my gosh. Basically, I know what happens and it's kind of been putting me off reading it, but I know that the film has just come out and it's in cinemas now and I know she has a lot of books, so maybe I'll just listen to this one actually and then I'll physically read some of her other books. I think that's how I might do it because I'm just frustrated because I know what's going to happen in the end, which obviously it's the most annoying thing in the whole world. It's also not the end of the world. Then have we got any more that are sort of on that vibe? You'd Be Home by Now by Kathleen Glasgow. Yeah, so she wrote Girl in Pieces and that's the reason I bought this book. This is a novel about Emmy, who's the dutiful good sister who navigates the fallout of her brother Joey's opioid addiction, a devastating car accident and the pressure to hold her family together while discovering her own identity and voice in a small judgmental town. It's a story about addiction's impact, guilt, family dynamic, mental health and finding strength amidst overwhelming circumstances. Her writing kind of unfortunately touches home, I guess, in a lot of ways. I feel like a lot of people have had like mental health problems and stuff, but like the way she writes it is so impactful. And I remember reading it in Spain. I was like laying on a sun deck reading this really like dark book, loving it. Can't lie. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I've had this book for a while as well. I'm using Google to help me explain these a bit better. Oh gosh, this one's cheery as well. I'd maybe like check out the plot before you read this because I think this is about some traumatic events that a high school girl has gone through and then burying the trauma and her former self as she navigates adolescence, first love and a path to survival and justice. Again, right up my street. I think it's just the books that really make you like empathise for the characters and know just really, I don't think I can describe it very well, but I feel like you'll know what I mean if you also feel the same. What else have we got? I did the classic from the works. 3 books for £7.50. What an absolute bargain. And I've never read any of Elsie Silver's books. I'm really hoping this is the first one, Flawless, because I remember looking up in the shop which was the first one. Flawless, Elsie Silver. Yeah, it's the first in the Chestnut Spring series. It's a contemporary romance, small town romance, western romance, enemies to lovers, forced proximity, grumpy/sunshine, fake dated, implied, and rules are made to be broken trope. So I am excited about this. It has a lot of hype. Who knows? I'll let you know how it goes. Going with a series vibe is Twisted Games, and I know I'm so late to the trend on this. And again, I don't know if this is the first one or not. I think I got this for last Christmas. A steamy forbidden romance about Princess Bridget von Ashburg and her stoic, broody bodyguard, Rhys Larson, focusing on their intense, slow burn attraction as he's hired to protect her as she inherits a throne she never wanted, forcing them to navigate duty, desire, and a potentially scandalous royal marriage. Well, and when I read xxxx and there was the most insane spice scenes in Silver Flame, I was on the train and I've never read anything like that in my life because I am quite an inexperienced reader. Like, I've read a lot of books but not anything fantasy spicy. It's all like young adult or funny books or like Bob Mortimer, that kind of stuff. And like last year I really delved into the fantasy spicy books, and what a world, hey? What a world. Is Twisted Love appropriate for 13-year-olds? No. Generally not considered appropriate for 13-year-olds. Let me just check it's the first one. Oh. Okay, apparently they are standalones, but if you read in order, it prevents spoilers and enhances the experience of seeing relationships evolve across books. So this is actually the second one. It's meant to be Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, and then Twisted Lies. So maybe I need to get Twisted Love first. I've got Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and I was planning on reading this over the winter. Maybe I can still read this now because it's only January. Was she the one that... Yeah, she wrote Holiday Ever After. I think I might read this one because it's like ice, hockey, blah, blah, blah. I think this is, again, it's just another like romance. I think I can still get away with this because it's still cold outside. Maybe it's cold outside. I need to stop. Christmas is over. I need to get rid of that tree as well. What else we got? The Fine Print. Again, I think I got this for last Christmas. Just gonna get through my TBR because I've had these ones on my physical. I just buy books, read them, sell them. But like these books have been sat there for so long and they look like they're really good books, and I obviously bought them for a reason. Oh, it's a whole series. I love how the trope's called Grumpy? Whoa. Called Grumpy X Sunshine, enemies to lovers, billionaire hero, forced proximity, and workplace romance. Contemporary romance, spicy romance, and workplace romance. So I think this is from a dual perspective situation. Where I flick through, it's like one chapter's him, one chapter's her kind of vibe. So there's that one. That's by Laura Nasher, by the way. Caraval. I believe this is fantasy. And I also kept calling it Carnival until the other day when I realised it wasn't. When I was writing out my TBRs, I was like, hang on a minute, that doesn't look right. Young adult fantasy series following sisters Scarlett and Teller as they navigate the magical illusion-filled world of the Caraval performance, a one-year event where the audience participates in a game. So it is Caraval Legendary and then Finale. Bought the first one. I think this will be my kind of vibe, and I'm really excited to read this actually. I think after I've finished Alchemized is when I'm going to go on to another fantasy book, which might be a little while, can't I? Classic, The Nightingale. Everyone absolutely raves about this book. This story is about what it was like to be a woman during World War II when women's stories were all too often forgotten or overlooked. Vianne and Isabel are two sisters separated by years and experience, by ideals and passion and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous path towards survival, love and freedom in war-torn France. It's a heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the endurance of women. It's a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. People just like say this is 6 stars, so again, that's just one I'm intrigued to read. Oh, If Only I Told Her. I read If Only He'd Been With Me. That was probably about 3 years ago, and I remember really crying at that. I think I read it in about a day. I cried and cried and cried. At that point, I didn't believe in sequels, which is crazy to say, but after I've read xxxx this year, and Silver Flames was my favourite, and that's the last book of the series, I have faith. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this one. Probably, I'm not sure when I'll read that, but there's that one. I also have a phobia of stickers, and I'm seeing so many stickers on these books, and it's making me literally want to gag. I bought 2 more from the works, which were The Garden Party and Summer Fridays. Garden Party, I think, is kind of, it was giving Frida McFadden vibes. Yeah, a dark psychological thriller about a lavish garden party that becomes the stage for family secrets, lies, and revenge, featuring sinister characters and a decadent backdrop. Right up my street. Excited to read that. So this is a coming-of-age romance, contemporary romance, with elements of literary fiction. Sawyer's fiancé is distant, so she starts meeting Nick, the boyfriend of a woman her fiancé seems to be cheating with. The secret outings every Friday, leading to a deep, unexpected bond. Again, classic romance, probably one for the summer when I'm laying in the English sun because I'm too scared to get in an aeroplane. I have done before. As I said, I went to Spain, but I can't see me do that again because I had an absolute meltdown. So I couldn't get out and I didn't like it. Then I have When the Cranes Fly South, and I saw this in Waterstones and I just picked it up because I had a little look at the back. It was awarded for something. It had one of those stickers they have in Waterstones where they like award books for whatever. And it's a Swedish author, a tender tale about what being a man is and what being a human is, about fathers and sons and fathers and dogs. That was by Frederick Batman, that little review there. Frederick Batman also said, this is the kind of book you give to someone when you're really trying to say, I've been thinking about you, but you don't know how. So I think this is going to be a heart-wrencher, I can't lie. Then I have Pigeon English, which I don't know anything about this. I was just given this and told I should read it. About 11-year-old Harrison, a recent immigrant from Ghana living on a London housing estate, investigates the murder of a schoolmate, leading him to confront the dangers of gang culture. Seems like a good read. I was going to read this one next, but I just get so indecisive. But this is high up on the next to go. To be read, I mean. I have The Diner by Herman Koch. I think, again, this is another one of those, like, not thriller, but I don't know what you'd... I need to get better at my genres because this genre is the one that I like. And there's a film. Dark, suspenseful novel about two couples meeting at a restaurant in Amsterdam to discuss a horrific... I'm so bad at reading aloud, I'm so sorry. A dark, suspenseful novel about two couples meeting at a restaurant in Amsterdam to discuss a horrific crime committed by their teenage sons, who are caught on camera but remain anonymous. Themes... It doesn't say genre. Oh, I guess that is it. Themes are parental love, moral responsibility, class, and the line between civilization and brutality. That was another works purchase for literally like £3 or something. I have a great time in there because these are the kind of books that I love. Oh, I also have Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which I really wanted to read around Christmas, but is going to have to wait till next Christmas. He's the ghost of Christmas past, but she's not exactly Scrooge. Oh, yes. I remember someone talking about that. Yeah, next year I'll be reading this for sure. Well, this year, I guess, at the end of it. I want to read Daisy Jones and the Six, who's also Taylor Jenkins Reid's Malibu Rising if I can. I have a lot on here. However many I get through, I don't know. Never Let Me Go is meant to be really good. My Friends by Frederick Batman, because I read Beartown and I didn't like it until I loved it. It was strange, but he just has a way with his words, which I'm sure you'll know. Red, White and Royal Blue. I want to read Dark Matter. Oh, that's up there. I have got Dark Matter and I want to read that. That is like it's a science fiction thriller about a physics professor who's abducted and wakes up in a parallel universe where he made different life choices, becoming a celebrated genius instead of a family man. Again, there's a good reason why that is on my TBR. I just haven't got around to reading it. It's coming up very soon. I think, again, Alchemize is just quite a heavy book that I want to just like get that one done and I can go on to my other thrillers and those sort of things. The Releasing 10 series I've put down, that is a commitment. I'm not sure I can get through Releasing 10 and Throne of Glass and all the other series I've talked about. You never know. I can at least read the first one and see what the hype's all about, you know. Then I've got Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood because I saw a lot of people talking about that one this year. Magnolia Park, again, another series that I think I will really enjoy. People have mixed opinions on Magnolia Parks. I'm trying to find my pen. It's never a good sign when my dad texts me and says I've got post. Oh dear. Fourth Wing. I haven't read Fourth Wing yet, and I also haven't read the Reckless, Powerless, Fearful... No. What am I talking about? Powerless, Fearful... I'm sure it's called Reckless. I don't know, but I haven't read that one either. They are all the ones that are on my TBR. I'm going to listen to audiobooks this year as well because I was kind of not allowing myself to do that last year because I was saying it didn't count, but it really does. And I really do feel like I'm reading Alchemize at the moment. And I do listen to a lot of non-fiction books as well. Like I listened to Manifest by Roxy Nafousi. I listened to Diary of a CEO. Is it 17 Laws of Business? That book you read. And I've also got How to Talk to Yourself by Ro Mitchell, which is a non-fiction book, and I've got Manifest Dive Deeper by Roxy Nafousi. So hopefully I get through some non-fictions as well this year. That is the goal. But yeah, that's all from me. This is like not I'm quite an inexperienced reader, booktuber, whatever you want to call it. So I don't feel like this is probably quite how the whole TBR videos are meant to go. But you know what? We're here for a good time. So I hope you enjoy whatever you're reading at the moment and get out of your slump if you're in one. It's going to be a good year for books and I can't wait to update you all on the journey. See you in the next one. Bye!